Welcome to the Fran Snyder Podcast, where I talk to artists and music fans to explore how music connects us through great stories and experiences. Brought to you by the Listening Room Network. Today's guest, Pierce Crask. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Good. It's great to finally connect with you. I understand you just moved from St. Louis to Chicago.
That's correct. Yeah, my wife and I moved up here in February, about 6 weeks before the shutdown.
So that's got to make it tough to meet new people in a new town.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I was just kind of starting to get rolling too,
Yeah.
Up here, and then the shutdown happened, and now I'm discovering live streams, and I'm being pushed into the 21st century.
Yeah, believe me, we're all. So a lot of us are kicking and screaming into the whole world of live streaming. So I have to start off with some bad news. You are never going to play my apartment because I have a neighbor downstairs, and I'm afraid the entire audience will be tapping their feet for 90 minutes.
Oh.
So yeah, you've got some really driving acoustic stuff, a little bit of instrumental stuff, some cool vocals. I was taken. What was it? You've got a song called was it Minor Breakdown?
Yeah.
Where it seems like you are approaching thumb light speed. Is that near the edge of how fast you can go with that right thumb?
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah. Or as fast as anybody would want me to go.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, people love that number.
Do you play exclusively with picks, finger picks, and thumb picks?
Most of the time, yeah, I would say 90% of the time. Every once in a while, I'll play at my solo gigs. I'll bring out an electric guitar, like I've got a 335, and I'll play that with just my fingers.
Okay.
And sometimes with just a thumb pick, but most of the time I play with the finger picks and the thumb pick. I mean, golly, 99% of the time.
And mostly on the resonator or standard acoustic?
Mostly on the standard acoustic. I would say, like when I do house concerts, about a third I'll play on the resonator. Yeah. And people just love it. People are just enamored by it.
Yeah, what is that guitar?
Oh, yeah.
Why does it have a hubcap on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super fascinating guitars, and you don't see that many people playing them.
No, that's.
Yeah. Did you is that where did you start with blues when you got into music, or did you go through another route and wind up there?
Oh, I went through another route, I would say. When I started playing live, it was, the standard Margaritaville, Brown Eyed Girl, barroom, stuff. But I, kind of realized that everybody did that. And in St. Louis, a lot of people, in Chicago too, a lot of people play blues music. I kind of was drawn to that because I loved the finger picking stuff. There were some guys around St. Louis that could do it really well that I was enamored with. And I just started to, kind of discover that route. And it was funny, it was Steve Earle who turned me on to the resonator guitar. I saw him at a concert with the resonator, and I was like, wow, I got to get one of those. I didn't know why. I just knew I had to get one.
And so who are some of your other guitar heroes that have influenced your playing and writing?
Oh, I love Chris Smither. He's a great singer-songwriter he's from Boston. I grew up in New Orleans. Yeah. And Greg Brown, as far as like contemporary guys, love Greg Brown, Leo Kaki. I love his instrumental stuff. And then I kind of the stuff that everybody else, I love Jimi Hendrix as a kid. I still love Jimi Hendrix, of course, but not exactly what I do. But and Zeppelin and Jimmy Page. And
in a house concert setting, what percentage of, because you do a lot of instrumental work, what percentage of your show would be like instrumental guitar?
Most of the time, out of a whole house concert, maybe, golly, no more than 4 songs.
Okay. Okay, because
Yeah.
I had the feeling that maybe you were doing a lot more instrumental stuff, but it's great. I think for house concerts, they love a vocal connection,
Right. Yeah.
and,
Yeah. I try
and
to.
like the most successful instrumental artists that we've seen in that format have just a great stage patter in between songs, and they just
Yeah.
totally they really work people on that level as well as the instrumental level. So that's cool. So you're doing plenty of singing then, because you got a
Oh yeah.
cool voice. I
Oh, thank you.
so the recent move to Chicago. What part of town are you in?
We are in Skokie now. We were in Evanston, just north of the city, like the
Okay.
first suburb north of the city.
All right. So during
And
this time, you said you were like you're doing. You've been able to keep some local gigs going. Is local like super local, or do you have to go into Chicago to play?
actually, one gig, the place I'm playing every Tuesday, is in Evanston. It was actually 5 blocks from our old apartment before
Yeah.
we moved into a house here. And so yeah, and we're just, I mean, we're minutes from the city. So, and I also have some gigs in St. Louis, which is only 4.5 hours away. That I also I've been able to do an outdoor thing, so I can go down there. Actually, I'll be going down there this week, and then going to Wheeling, West Virginia, to play a show through the network.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you joined shortly before the pandemic, but managed to play a couple of house concerts before things shifted. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, some of the shows you played, what you enjoyed about the house concert format compared to a lot of the other work that you do.
Oh well, the first one I played was in Florida, was in Ocala, Florida, and I drove down there from St. Louis, and it was at it was at a house, just like I guess what you would call a standard or traditional house concert. It was in
Yeah.
these people's living room. It was a semi-retirement community kind of thing, and I've got it on tape. But there was a guy there that was kept hollering out for 16 tons. Yeah. And like the hosts, I think, were starting to get a little embarrassed,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the heart to tell him I didn't know 16 tons, and so I just played it anyway. And yeah, it's I ought to post it, which is kind of that was kind of what I felt like it was kind of all about, right? That kind of, you're connecting with people on some kind of level, and this guy, I don't know if he was a Merle Travis fan, or if he was a Tennessee Ernie Ford fan, or if he was just, maybe
Drunk.
had a little too much wine, or so. Yeah, yeah, if he was just drunk. But that one was cool.
You were able to give them just enough of it to
Yeah,
quiet
yeah,
them down.
yeah, and everybody had a good time. And that was a great experience, because in St. Louis, up until about 10 years ago, Del Taco was a staple, and we have no more Del Tacos in St. Louis or Chicago. So there's a Del Taco in every corner down there. So that's how I plan all of my work, is around is there a Del Taco around?
Nice.
But yeah, and that one was really cool. And then I did another one right before the shutdown in Oklahoma City. This guy was a financial planner, and I guess this is somewhat common. Kind of did it as part of he invited a bunch of prospective clients to his house, and with the dinner and the drinks and all that. And then I played for about an hour. And
Okay. They treat you well?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
all of them
Yeah.
I've played have treated me really well, and that's what I love about them.
Yeah.
Versus a bar gig or a restaurant gig, or wine bar gig, coffee house thing.
Right.
They're genuinely happy to see you,
Yeah, I
and
believe it.
they listen, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. Listening room and living wage
Mm,
has become our mantra over the
mm.
past 15 years. And I'm curious for you, now that you're in a new town, you're going to have to, I guess, dig kind of hard to build a. Did you already have some name recognition in that area, or are you starting from scratch?
Up here, I mean, a little bit, but more or less, I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah, I remember when I was married and I was in some similar situation. I had to move every couple of years for my wife's job. Every time it was a promotion for her and it was a demotion for me. It's like, okay,
Right,
I gotta go scrounge up, you know,
right.
the gigs. Being the new face, you're not going to get the best gigs right away. So
Yeah, that's
uh, So yeah, that can be challenging. So kudos to you for doing that. If you are enjoying this podcast, can you pause for a moment to like, review, and subscribe? Please help the world discover our music community and the wonderful artists we support. Your feedback makes a difference. Like, what do you think you're going to miss most about St. Louis?
From a work standpoint, I think from a financial standpoint, I'd been there for so long that I just had, work coming in.
How long?
And,
Huh?
I started playing in '99, started playing professionally, so 21 years.
Yeah.
And what's cool about St. Louis, like as opposed to say Chicago or a bigger city, is you can play 2 gigs. Like you could do a happy hour on one side of town until 5:30, and then scoot and be set up on the other side of town by 6:30 to do a dinner time gig somewhere. If you're just trying to kind of grind it out, make a couple.
Yeah.
Here you've got pretty much you're with the traffic and with the logistics and whatnot. From on a local level, if you're it's you're kind of doing 1 gig a day, and not that I did multiple gigs, all the time, but
Right. But it's nice to have that option when, especially if you're starting out in a new.
Right. But yeah, other than that, and I get down there everyone, with some frequency right now, but I'm hoping to be able to play up here more, obviously. And when the pandemic's over, I get out on the road. But yeah, I think that's what I'll miss about St. Louis I think that's what I'll miss the most. And I've got some family down there, but as far as performing, it's great to play up here. I've had a couple of really nice gigs already.
And so you've like most artists, you've transitioned into working the live stream side of things. How's that been for you?
Oh, that's been cool. That's really cool. I just been doing the Facebook stuff, and I've just gotten on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which I'm not familiar with. I haven't done anything on there, but I just got on there. And I was shocked actually at the beginning of the pandemic by people's generosity. I was really taken aback because I'm so computer illiterate. I thought, well, nobody's going to go on here and, leave a donation via PayPal and all that. And then, I figured out that most people have PayPal or Venmo or,
yeah.
And I really like which I didn't think I would, you can still connect and interact with people like via the comments and whatnot. So there is something there. There's something nurturing there. You're able to get out of it, and it's cool. And I've got people that tune in now, and I've made new fans, and I've picked up gigs in the physical world from it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that was super touching for me to hear. Is a couple of artists had told me that when the pandemic hit, that before they even did anything for themselves in terms of live streaming and and sending asking for help from fans, that kind of thing, they actually had hosts in our network reach out to them like immediately, like, what can we do? We don't know how you're going to make it through this. What can we do to help? And some of them offered, hey, we'll write a theme song for our house concert, we'll pay you, let's figure out a way to keep you whole and sustained. And that just, stories like that just come out left and right. There's just so much giving and generosity in
Yes, yeah.
in the hosts in our network. And then you have artists reaching out to other artists, like Joe Crookston started, and Rod Abernethy, who I just spoke with as well, started, a meetup group for artists. Like, let's all just share and learn from each other and figure out how we're all going to adapt. And instead of everybody having to reinvent the wheel, let's all share what we learn.
Right. Yeah.
So that's been huge to see. So, adversity brings out the best in people a lot of times,
Yes. Yeah, it does. I was blown away.
So during this sort of touring pause, are you looking at doing some new recordings in the future, or like what's kind of on your mind in terms of the next steps for Pierce Crask?
Well, I'm working on a new, I'm in the process of writing a new record, and I'd like to find a studio around here once it's done. I'm kind of demoing it on my pad, on my garage band or whatnot, but I like to record. I'm not much of a sound engineer, and I like to record in a studio with an engineer anyway, just to get another person.
Yeah.
And there's so when this breaks and I can book some studio time, I think I'm going to book another a couple blocks of studio time and probably do a record like I did my last EP with, it was just me and my guitar and stomping on a piece of plywood. But I think this time I'll probably add some more instrumentation to it.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to go in sort of with a band or with a cohort of musicians, or do you think you're going to go in and do your thing first and then see what needs to be added later?
Yeah, I think I would do my thing first.
Yeah.
And probably, just I may play to a click or I may not, but I don't know. That's always click tracks and me, we don't always get along. But,
yeah, it's a tough thing unless you do it for a living,
Yeah.
That metronome can feel like a distraction.
It keeps slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, Pierce, it's great to connect with you. We'll link to your website in the show notes. Probably a couple of the videos that you've got some pretty remarkable finger picking. I definitely want to share that with the audience.
Oh, great! Yeah,
and do look me up if you make plans to come back to Florida.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that. So when this all breaks open, we'll.
It won't be my apartment, but we'll find a place for you.
We'll find okay. Well, great.
Because I've got the downstairs neighbor who's been totally agreeable for all of my house concerts, but I do avoid foot stomping acts.
Gotcha. Well, that's what's led us into our house here. Is that I was a little too. What's the word I'm looking for? Not flamboyant. But I was
energetic.
Yes, for the apartment we were in. So
we'll get you a place with some nice hardwood floors and tall ceilings. It'll be great.
That'd be awesome.
All right, Pierce, have a great day and good luck on the recordings.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks for listening to the Fran Snyder Podcast. Please subscribe, like, or share to help your friends discover this community. Also, I'd love to hear from you with any feedback or suggestions you have. And if you'd like to learn more about house concerts and listening rooms around the world, please visit and join listeningroomnetwork.com. You can email me from there. See you next time on the Fran Snyder Podcast.